Hollywood is reeling from news that has left 50 Shades fans in suspense. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, the couple who once captivated the world, are rumored to have been in a forbidden relationship for years. No longer just acting glances. No longer just on-screen chemistry. But a secret buried behind the scenes, where true feelings were never allowed to be expressed. Fire a relationship that transcended the script, but was forbidden to exist. According to several close sources in the film industry, during the filming of 50 Shades, the line between roles and real life was blurred many times. Jamie and Dakota not only shared daring scenes, but also intimate and emotional moments when the cameras were off. But that's precisely why this relationship is considered taboo. Contractual pressure, harsh public opinion, and personal obligations that cannot be publicly acknowledged. They are forced to maintain distance in public, even though behind the scenes, their feelings silently burn. Fearful face signs that make fans suspicious. Observant fans have discovered a series of unusual details. Longer than normal gazes. The way they always protect each other from the media. Meaningful silences when asked about each other. All of this makes fans wonder. Right finger, is this just a friendship, or a love that has never been allowed to be named? Heartbreak, loving each other but unable to admit it. Sources say there was a time when Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson had to choose reason over heart. A painful but necessary decision to protect their careers and those around them. But what makes this story so haunting is right finger, genuine feelings never disappear. Globe Hollywood divided, fans erupt. As soon as the rumors spread, social media erupted in fierce debate. One side believed this was the stolen ending of 50 Shades. The other side argued it was all just fan imagination. But whether true or false, this forbidden romance has made the whole world talk about Jamie Dornan Dakota Johnson, in a way never before seen. Fearful Face Part 2. The moment that almost broke all boundaries. It's no coincidence that for years, Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson avoided mentioning each other directly. Behind the polite smiles on the red carpet was an unspoken agreement, not to cross the line, even though their hearts wouldn't listen. Fire a night that almost got out of control. According to a crew member, there was a night on set where the two stayed very late after finishing their last scene. No crew, no lights, just two people who had suppressed their emotions for too long. No declaration of love. No public display of affection. Just a heavy silence and a look that said it all. The source said that night made them realize. Right finger, if they took another step, there would be no turning back. Heartbreak, the most heartbreaking decision. After that moment, Jamie Dornan was the one who took the initiative to step back. Not because he stopped loving her, but because he understood the price he would pay if the relationship were exposed. Dakota Johnson, according to close friends, cried for days afterward. But she didn't blame him, because both of them knew that this was a relationship that should exist in the glamorous world of Hollywood. Crying, haunting quotes that still remain with fans today. In an old interview, Dakota once said something that sent chills down fans' spines. There are people who come into your life, not to stay, but to change you forever. And Jamie Dornan, in a rare moment of sharing, also revealed his feelings. Some of the most beautiful things are the things you have to keep to yourself. Right finger for fans, these two quotes were never a coincidence. Globe, a forbidden love, but never dead. Although each has gone their separate ways, every time they appear together, the flame of the past silently reignites. Not loud, not public, but enough to make fans believe that. Fire, there are loves that don't need official status, and they last a lifetime. No press release. No schedule announced. But Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson's reunion happened in a way no one expected. Fearful Face, a fateful moment after years apart. It was a private film event, one where only big names showed up. When Dakota entered the room, she didn't know Jamie was there. And when their eyes met for the first time in years, right finger, everything seemed to stop. No hug. No hurried greetings. Just a moment of silence, long enough for the past to flood back. According to witnesses, Jamie nodded slightly. Dakota smiled, a smile that was both familiar, painful, and never faded. Fire emotions thought to have been dormant. Throughout that evening, they avoided sitting next to each other. But their eyes always met in the same direction. Their conversations were interrupted when the other appeared. And there was a strange silence whenever someone mentioned 50 Shades. A source revealed, the two had a very short private conversation. No one knows the content, only that Dakota left early afterward. Jamie stayed, but his face no longer had a smile. Heartbreak, the truth that broke fans' hearts. A close friend said, they never stopped caring about each other, but they understood that if they got any closer, everything would fall apart. Right finger, this is why this relationship is called forbidden. Not because of a lack of love, but because there were too many things that couldn't be exchanged. Globe, the internet exploded because of a small detail. Just hours after the event, a short clip went viral. Right finger Jamie Dornan stood silently watching Dakota Johnson leave. No touch. No call. Just standing there. That detail was enough to. Fans believe their love never ended. Hollywood split into two fierce debates. And Jamie Dakota's names topped global search rankings. Fire, a love without an ending. There are loves that don't need confirmation. Don't need to be public. Don't need a perfect ending. Right finger Jamie Dornan Dakota Johnson are just like that. A love. Forbidden. Repressed. But never disappeared. Secrets leaked, insiders finally speak up. It should have ended quietly. But Hollywood never allows big emotions to be buried forever. Bomb, an anonymous message ignites everything. Just days after their shocking reunion, an anonymous account unexpectedly released information that stunned fans. Right finger Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson had signed a no crossing of boundaries agreement during filming. Not a dry legal clause, but a subtle warning: if emotions went too far, the consequences would be uncontrollable. This information spread like wildfire. And for the first time in years, the media began asking direct questions. Mike, the moment Dakota Johnson breaks the silence. In a seemingly harmless interview, Dakota was unexpectedly asked, if you could go back in time, would you do anything differently? She was silent for a few seconds. Then she said, in a low, very slow voice, there are feelings, no matter how hard you try to deny them, they're still there. The answer didn't mention anyone by name. But the whole world understood what she was talking about. No mouth faced Jamie Dornan and the terrifying silence. In contrast to Dakota, Jamie refused all interviews. He didn't post, didn't appear, didn't respond. A close friend revealed, Jamie isn't afraid of public opinion. He's only afraid of hurting someone he's never stopped caring about. Right finger, that silence, for fans, was even heavier than an admission. Heartbreak, the truth behind a forbidden love. According to inside sources, the reason this relationship was never made public wasn't just because of their careers, but also because the wrong timing, the wrong responsibility, and a world that wouldn't allow them to make the same mistake again. Right finger, they fell in love when everything was wrong. Globe fans' biggest question. If the feelings were real. If the emotions never faded. Right finger, then why did they choose to remain silent? The answer probably lies in the most heartbreaking thing. Not every love story needs an ending to become immortal. There are things that, if said, would change everything forever. And Jamie Dornan chose not to say them. Envelope the letter written during a sleepless night. According to a very close source, Jamie once wrote a long letter. Not to the press. Not to Hollywood. Right finger only to Dakota Johnson. In the letter, he didn't mention 50 Shades. He didn't mention the pressure. He didn't mention the reason for the separation. Only one sentence was revealed, leaving fans speechless. If things had been a little different, you would have been my only choice. But that letter was never sent. Crying the moment they almost went public in front of millions. At a major television event, Jamie and Dakota were seated together. The cameras panned to them more often than usual. At the moment the MC asked, "Has anyone here ever changed your life in a way that can't be put into words?" Jamie clenched his fists. Dakota bowed her head. Right finger. The entire audience held their breath. Just a nod. A longer glance. A slightly off-script remark. But no one crossed the line. New Moon, two parallel paths. After that night, they never appeared together again. No events. No photos. No explanation. Hollywood understood implicitly. A door had closed forever. But fans believed otherwise. Fire a love story without an ending. There are love stories that don't need to be publicized. That don't need a title. That don't need an ending. But still last a lifetime. Right finger. Jamie Dornan Dakota Johnson. Not a story that was once. But it's a story of what couldn't be. Speech balloon. The final question left for the world. If one day they stand in the same frame again, right finger, will that be the end, or the beginning they lost?